Hi, guys. Welcome to the show today. We are going to continue building our Matilda from Tamiya or Tamiya. Oh, I grew up pronouncing it Tamiya. Um, so hopefully I got that right. Anyway, we're going to continue where we were last week. Before we start, let me just look at chat real quick. We got Eric. Let's go. Face blue, smiling. That was 8:30 this morning. Wow. Thanks, Eric. And we got Charles in the house. Keep well ventilated. No getting high on glue smell. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done that. I'm not sure this is going to do that to you, but I'll keep that in mind, my friend. So I'm going to plan on doing these live builds on the Hissy Cat Builds channel pretty much Wednesdays at 5 o'clock, unless work interferes. So I will have a kit that I'm going to be working on a weekly basis, and I will probably post some videos of other things that I'm working on midweek. But this gives you a chance to kind of join me as I'm building, chit-chat a little bit, and maybe give me some ideas or suggestions on what I'm working on. So a quick recap from last week. We did the first 3 steps of the kit, and I think I got a little problem. I'm not going to sweat too much about it, but I've got the hull here, the upper hull. Let me go ahead and snip that. I was trying to dry fit it, and I think I got my sidewalls angled in a little too much, as this, at least as I was testing it, didn't want to drop in. So as you can see right up here, that it's the camera. Hold on, let me adjust that a little bit. So it looks like it's a little too, yeah, see, I've got to kind of push that out, a little tight fit. So we'll do a little creative filing on these bits here to get this top to come down and sit on here. So what I'm going to work on today, step 4 is to get a couple of these idler and drive sprocket wheels done. Now this one has a poly cap, so it doesn't want it glued. I'm not really sure why. As you'll see when we get to the treads, they're multi-part. It's not like these things are going to rotate. We're going to go ahead and get those attached with step 5, and step 6 we get into the treads, and then that's the lower hull, and then the upper hull comes on. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to test fit this bit here. Okay, so I'm trying to decide what I want to glue as far as the subassembly goes on this before I start to paint it. And we'll get there, but this upper piece of the tread is just, fairly long bit. We'll cut these out today. But once this top is on and the side skirts, let me go ahead and cut out these side skirts as well. Cut them out, snip them off, and we'll get them filed. But for dry fitting, right, I want to make sure I have these. And lesson learned as far as putting this together, next time I do a tank that's got a box assembly like this one does, because we had the floor, the lower hull, the 2 sides, and then the top of the hull going in. If that alignment isn't perpendicular, and I'll clean up the rough spots. What I'm getting at is once this does get in here and this sits like that, we're not going to see those top treads very much. Okay. So I'm trying to decide, yeah, that needs to be filed before it goes together. Hey, there's Meandering Mike. Hi, boss. How are you tonight, sir? I'm going to do that. I'm not used to having my mic right next to my head. I'm going to keep headbutting it. And then he says, I need to do better ventilation when using plastic goo. Goo? plastic glue. Maybe it's already taken effect and I haven't even opened the bottle. I need some ventilation because it's warm here today in San Diego, and I got the front door shut where I normally get my fresh air because I didn't want any noise. I may go open that up. So, point being, lesson learned that when I do anything that's kind of got a box assembly, even if this, in this particular case, wasn't going to be used right away, I could have used it to make sure I had all my alignments correct. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into what we're going to get done today, at least. And we're going to start with these two. Let me flip my instructions over just to make sure we're following the instructions correctly. And these are the idler wheels. So this is pretty straightforward. We're going to snip them, file them, glue them together, and glue them onto either side of the lower hull. Pretty standard stuff. I've got my files. Now I bought a bunch of these as a set off of Amazon. If I can find my purchase, I'll put a link, probably an affiliate link because I have an affiliate thing with Amazon. So I'll probably put an affiliate link there. That means just simply it doesn't cost you any more. If you happen to buy something that I have an affiliate link on, I get thrown a few pennies. Literally a few pennies, but I'm not complaining. It's nice. Better than nothing, right? Okay. Here we go. Yeah, Mike says so many parts. There are this kit's not that bad, actually, Mike. There's a lot of small bits. But I mean, 1/48 scale, I don't think it's all that bad, quite honestly. Okay, so let's make sure we get this facing the right way. Yep, there's a little ridge there. It's going to go inside that. Easy peasy. Now, I am going to be, at some point, purchasing myself another camera, just a webcam, something inexpensive that might be a little better to use than my phone. And maybe the software I'm using on the phone has a premium feature which allows me to have a better resolution. I'm not sure. So we'll be working on these things and trying to improve them. Okay. Easy peasy. We'll give that a second. It doesn't feel like there's anything that needs to lock it in, although it doesn't seem to be sitting the way I want it to. Weird. No. I was looking to see if maybe there's a key where sometimes you spin it and then it'll just set. I did not visually see one, so I thought this would just go on flat. Okay. Well, that's not setting the way I thought it would, as easy as I thought it would, but we'll let it dry a little bit. When I glue it on the post, it won't matter. Or it shouldn't matter. Famous last words, right? Okay. Let me get this on the screen. That's kind of the purpose of why I'm doing this. Okay, Mike. Some mild 70s weed. Can you still get 70s weed? Like scotch. It gets aged. Now, I will say I never partaked. I was one of those kids that was scared by the anti-drug campaigns when I was a kid. Scared straight. But I'm all for, not to get too political, but I was all for the legalization of marijuana. So, you know what? Now I do see that there is a key there. Okay. I don't know how I missed that the first time I was specifically looking for it. Yeah. So we'll take care of that on the other one if I have to pull it apart and put it back on. But let me just see where that key is. It is there. Okay. Boom. Identify that key. It shouldn't be that difficult. But when you get older, some of these things are just a little harder to see. There it is. And there. That one snapped right in. Cool. That's what I was waiting for this one to do, which it didn't. So let's find that key. Put a little more glue on this real quick. Okay. Now this is Tamiya glue, Mike, at least what I'm using. So the key, find the key here. I think that's it. Oh, nailed it. Okay. Yeah, that makes a huge difference when you set things properly. Let me just give that a second, get caught up on chat. No, no, I do not. 4 of them. 1, 2, well, these 2, and then the back 2. I don't have to glue 20 of them. That would be, yeah. Not that I wouldn't probably enjoy doing that, but not today anyway. So he's talking about his leaf. Says, I have no idea. Some simple Panama red, tie stick, or Maui Wowie. The modern stuff is so strong. Well, it's probably a lot of craft stuff as well, right? I mean, everybody's got to, like any product, wants to set themselves apart with what they're doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue these on to the lower frame, then we'll come back and get the other 2 bits. So we'll go ahead and get those on there, give them a chance to dry. I'm just going to swipe a little glue on here. Again, I need to keep this in front of the camera. I apologize, guys. Still figuring out how to get the production skills down when it comes to making these type of videos. Okay. Don't think it matters which side goes out. Of course, somebody might say, hey, that's the inside of that idler. He built that backwards. Although anybody who knows that's probably not going to be looking at this model. That one looked like it may have gone in backwards because there might be another key. Yes, there is. There you go. Look at that. So the first one we nailed, the second one we had backwards, but the kit had a built-in key. So that's a nice part of building a quality model like this tester's model. Mike says, tiny fiddly bits. Yes, sir. Now, I do have tweezers. I'm going to try to do as much of this without those as I can, but at some point, we'll probably have to get to those. Okay, so let's go ahead and let that dry. And we're going to go ahead and get the bigger wheels now. Again, there's 2 of these. And this has the poly cap in there. And I'm not sure why, but we're not going to question it. We're going to go ahead and build it with the poly cap. There we go. Okay. So let's just do a quick little dry fit here. I believe there is a key on this as well. Actually, it looks like there's 2 keys. Okay. Not that that should matter. Okay, so I've got my poly caps right here. Let's take 2 of them out of the bag. I already cut the bag open. Back in you go. Okay. So one poly cap is going to go in. This might also serve as a spacer. Oh, come on. Yes, I don't think this is going to. Oh no, it will. Okay. So it does go together completely. Let me. There we go. Now, just a quick spin to see if anything sets. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to hold that and then go ahead and now get the glue and let the capillary action do its magic. Go ahead and spin that in my hand here. Yeah, I've got to get a better camera. I'm not sure that you can see that too well, but we live and we learn. Okay, now this is get my finger off of there. Okay, we're going to just set that there and let it dry. These are just going to stick on the post. Okay. There's no instructions to glue it. It says not to glue. And again, we'll find out why later. Okay. So pretty straightforward on this. And then we'll get into what we're going to do as far as getting this whole upper and lower to kind of play nice together. Okay. Let me just slide that to the edge so I can get it between my fingers like so. Nice. Let's spin it until there. That looks like I got it set in the key. I don't know if you can see that. No. Anyway, we'll just get a little glue around that. Give it a second, and then I will set it down and let it dry like the other one. It doesn't seem to be completely flush. There it is. I had to turn it a little bit more. Looks like I only had one of those bits in the key initially. Okay. This one did go together. Okay. So now we just won't fiddle with it. I will clean up the sprue or the bit from where I took it off the sprue. There's a little bit of flash there. Okay. So that's step 4. Step 5 is to actually, we already glued the first 2 bits on. And then there is a little part A14. So let's go ahead and find A14, which I've already found. It's this part here. There's 2 of them. So let's go ahead and snip them off and get those glued on. Again, these $5, $10 snippers are doing the job just fine. So this has got 2 little nipples and the one goes towards the inside bit. Okay, that should be easy enough to do. Let's go ahead and get a little glue on there. Make sure it's in that particular slot, and we'll drop that. Bingo. Okay. Just a little pressure. That's in. Same thing on this side. Yeah, I got it facing the right way. It's just a matter of, there it goes. Just need to squeeze it just a little and it popped in. Charles says, I got a Jag Panther, good size, had to snap lock each piece of the tread together. Took forever. Yeah, this one's got quite a few pieces on the tread, which I'm not against. Yeah, those, Mike says, oh my God, those are tiny. Yes, they were. Now this is 148 scale. 135th would be a bit larger. 172nd didn't have quite as much. I just saw this kit. It was at a good price. And I thought, let me do something a little bit larger than 172nd, which I've been practicing and building my, oh my God, my mothball fleet for painting, right? Okay, so these are going to just slide on here like so. And again, they spin. Although that stopped spinning, I'm not going to force it. Again, I probably need to clean it up a little bit. Anyway, we're going to let that stuff dry. Okay, so technically now we're done with step 5, which now gets us to the tracks. And so this is where decisions need to be made. And that's where I wanted to dry fit, like I said earlier, this on, and it's not quite fitting. And again, that's probably because these two tops or these two sides are tilting in and not out. So like I said, lesson learned. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and do a little filing here. And I can do it on both sides. I'm not sure which side is the culprit, as it were. I'm not sure how long this is going to take, obviously. But getting a little bit of squeezing that apart and thinning this down, the combination should get us to get this bit in. And then a decision needs to be made if I'm going to go ahead and glue it down, because the next parts are all put on the top. And even when I go to you see here, it's all done on the top and then it's glued on. So other than getting access to the top of the treads or anything underneath the top of the lower turret is all about painting. If it was just straight assembly, I could go ahead and do it. But I'm not sure what we're going to see. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. Now, if you've built this kit and you kind of know if there is a right answer, put it in the comments. Now, I may have already worked myself past it by the time I see your comment, but that's such is life. Again, some of this is transferable skills, right? When I get this, like I said, next time I do a box assembly on any kit, I'm going to try to get all the sides of that box the least dry fitted and used as part of the assembly, even if I don't glue them, just to get everything to fit nice and easy. Okay, so we got a little bit of that. And again, you're never going to see that. Okay, what do we got here? Yeah, see, that is still, that's with me not trying to spread it at all. So, see, it's so close it wants to fit. It's not that far off. And see, there's detail on the inside of this, so I don't want to just file that bit. Okay, I'm not going to fight with this the whole video. I'm going to give this a little bit of attention to see. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So a little more filing, and that's what we got. So let's cut one of these treads off, the long ones, and just kind of place it up underneath there, because this is really what I'm concerned about. And again, it's all about what I'm going to paint, because this one won't go in the mothball fleet. We're going to go ahead and do our best job of painting this. Probably hand paint the whole thing. I will get at some point, go get some weathering product. So there's what the tread looks like. Again, I'll go back and clean up the little burrs here. But this, you'll see there's no wheels under there, right? So that's just going to sit like so. Now, it's all about painting, right? So it's going to sit there, and then we're going to have something like this. And quite honestly, that's what we're going to see. Almost nothing on the top of those treads. Okay, that's not quite lined up properly. Probably got the wrong side. But you get the idea. Well, hopefully I don't have that backwards. No, that looks like the right side. Okay, yeah, no, that's right. It looked a little offset, but when I look at the actual picture, it is a bit offset like that. Or it's not offset like that. No, it should be. This is probably dry fit. This should be more of that. Huh. Do I have them backwards? Oh, I do. There we go. Okay. Nah. It helps when you do things correctly. Okay, so that's dry fit. I don't even see that top tread other than looking underneath here. I can see the bottom of it, but the top of it is not even visible. I could probably get away with not even using it. I'm not going to do that because I want to build everything. But what that does tell me as far as painting goes, oh, but it does give me practice, right? What do you guys think? So in chat, let me know. Should I just go ahead and glue the top of the lower hull on to the bottom after I get the treads on, or go ahead and paint everything even though it's not going to be seen? And I don't know why these are meant to have the poly caps. And again, you're not going to see some of that stuff. Yeah. So there's no reason for me not to go ahead and glue these on. Although, like I said, I'm not going to. Something may become obvious later that I don't see right now, but let's just go ahead and kind of push those on with our fingers. Again, they still rotate for whatever reason, which is fine. Okay. So this is kind of the next fiddly bit, right? So let's go ahead and, how many of these do we need? We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 pieces of the track for each side. So I suspect I'm going to need 2 of those. I already got the top. Let's see what else there is on this sprue that's treads. There's 2 bits there. Let's go ahead and snip those. And we'll plan to get some of these put on here. Maybe we get one side built today. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Mike. I appreciate it. Talk to you later, boss. Okay. Yeah, we got this as well. I'll go ahead and snip that off. So this is the first time in a long time that I have built tracks. Quick view, nothing else on that. And we can assume, since these are mirrored with the same sprue, everything that's on here is going to be required per side. I think that's a safe assumption. So let's go ahead and snip this and then count them. Okay. Yeah, I'm already noticing some subtleties. There's like a single bit there. Oop, don't get lazy. Almost just ripped it off. Even though this kit, and I'm still, like I said, I'm still learning and trying to get my skills up. I'm going to try to do my best as far as what's the proper way to do things. That way I can learn the proper way. So if I'm doing something that you think might be out of sequence or can help me get better at this building these kits, definitely let me know. Now again, there are, let me just make sure. Yeah, I've got 4 of these sprues. And right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's just kind of lay them out on here and see how they go. There's a 3-bit. Okay, there's a kind of a curved 2-part. Another curved 2-part. Looks like there's 2 more curved. Yep, there's one there. So, boom. That part was there. That's a 4-piece. There's the single. Yeah. 4. So what am I looking at? That's only 3. So I'm going to get another curved piece. Yes. So 2 curved pieces. So it looks like I might have more than I need. That happens sometimes. So here's kind of the curved pieces. These are piece 8. So 8, 8. Yeah, these are all 8s. Okay. And while I still have these on the sprue, I can look at what the 3 and the 4 was. Right. The 4 was a 7, so there's your 7. And there's a 7 there. So yeah, there's 2 7s. Let's go ahead and get these 8s nipped. Lay these out. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8s. So that's an odd number. The single goes there. This is a 3. Oh, there we go. That's the tread that goes on the upper part of the lower hull as a spare. Okay. So let's just throw that in there for now. So I'm going to need this. So it turns out I don't need every single piece off the 2 sprues. So I've got more than enough pieces. And then I'll go there. Obviously this one, kind of important. It's a big chunk. Okay. And then we'll go there. And now as I look at this, I've got all my bits. Okay. Let's put that in the box so we don't lose it. And it's going to want to go like this. Now, I think what I'm going to do, I actually have some blue tack. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack this on in spots where I'm definitely not going to glue it. See if I can get the spots that need to be glued. I'll go ahead and file these. And try to assemble everything with a little blue tack. Hold it in place, and then I can put my glue on. That might be the ticket here. I think once because what I'm concerned about is this top piece. If I get this misaligned, then nothing's going to fit. So I think this is kind of a key piece to get correct. Now you could probably do the same at the bottom, but I'm going to choose the top. Okay. So with that in mind, so nowhere along here do I have to worry about this being glued, right? So we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of blue tack, maybe stretch it out a bit. Well, we'll see. We'll play with it here. I don't need a lot. I just need something to hold it in place, right? So let's put a little there and maybe a little here. Oh, come on. Play nice. Let's go ahead and push this down a little bit. Oh, I can just push it down with the track. Now I got to plan on getting this blue tack out of my model, so I don't want it too far deep. Because once I glue this, I'm going to have to dig this stuff out, right? So let's just make sure it's easy to remove. Let's think ahead just a little bit. Miguelito. Okay. Now, so let's take this now. Now there's a nub on one side and not on the other. So let's take a look and see. Yeah, it looks like the non-nub side goes towards the front. Okay. And again, not sure where along this path this is going to go. So let's just blue tack it right there. Now we're going to have this half turn. That's not a half turn, but it's the start of a turn, right? And obviously that's got the tread going in. So I don't want to glue tack that because I can just glue this. My phone is ringing, but we're not going to pick it up. Okay. I'll have that backwards. Let's turn this around. Sorry for the buzzing. Oh, great. Sorry about that, guys. I'm using the phone as a camera. Call came in, and apparently I've lost. Okay. Let me reset my camera. Sorry. Technology. Okay. There we go. Let's see. Is that back yet? Hold on. How disruptive, right? Share my screen. Okay. Another reason why I don't want to have to use my phone as a second camera. Oh, alrighty. So let's go back here. So we've got this rotated correctly with the tongue. It's going to set on here, and it's going to go right in there. That part I think I can go ahead and glue on. Now you can't see it. I'm not going to turn it sideways or a little bit. Yeah, and then there's going to be another one, and then another one. I'm not going to lie, that looks pretty good. And we're going to have a similar thing on the other side. Let me just see if that kind of fits. It actually looks like it does. I think I got that first bit placed. So we're going to go ahead and commit. Let's get these parts cleaned up as much as we need to. I got a little filing to do. I'm not going to lie, a little stressed about this because, like I said, I think once this gets glued, I'm kind of committed. Okay. So I think it's probably best to start here where I can go ahead and get this small piece on. Make sure I got it faced the right way. Again, the tongue. Let's get a little glue. Okay. Again, that's blue tacked on there. So there we go. We got our first link. And again, I checked both sides and it looked good to me, right? So this is what we've got. This is still just blue tack. I can take that off here in a minute. So this piece still needs to be filed a little. Okay. Easy peasy. Again. Yeah, I think we got it. I think we got it. I'm actually encouraged. We'll have to do this again, but at least once we've done it, we should, in theory, learn what we're doing. Let's go ahead and, again, yep, got the tongue in there. That goes nice and easy. And we have just 2 of those, and then we get the 4-bit with the tongue. That's going to go like so. That looks good. And then 3-bit. And this is where we're going to also see how well we lined everything else up, right? Okay. So well, that wants to come off. At this point, I'm already committed, right? So that did its job. There we go, blue tack. Thank you very much. That was useful. Put that back in my box. Okay, let's go ahead and get this. File what we need to file and get this glued. That looks pretty clean. Go ahead and get the glue on here. Again, the tongue on this side. Of course, that just needs a little file. And there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that glue there. It makes contact. Now, interesting idea. I could have glued a few of these bits on here and then had this wheel rotate before I glued it down. That might have also given me some flexibility in placing that. So now we've got this 4-bit. Let's go ahead and flatten that. Yeah, this needs a little filing for sure. Okay. I guess the nice thing with all of the side skirts on this is it's going to hide some of these errors if I make them to some degree. Now, because I'm looking at this and it doesn't seem to fit that tread perfectly at this point. It's like that bit needs to come down a little bit more or maybe at a different angle. And that could just be this part right here not being set properly. This bit here, which could be causing, as you can see, that's slightly up. So, fit problem. And we're going to have those on this kit. Again, it's been a while since I've done these types of things. We learn from this. So as we do other parts, yeah, I suspect that Yeah, it seems, I'm going to just do a little test here, the longer piece to see how this lines up. Okay. Yeah, looks like that could be pushed up a little bit. Okay, so we do have some alignment issues. Again, I'm not going to sweat it too much. I think we got a good start here. I'm going to go ahead and, I don't like this being so short though. It is what it is. Although nothing says I can't put this piece in here and kind of bend it up if need be, and then put the smaller one in the middle along the bottom. I can improvise. That way I can kind of push that. You see what I'm trying to do there? Because the other thing is I can come back and is to glue it like so, let it set, and then pull this down. I think that's what I'm going to do, just to kind of try to get this rounded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this piece here like so. And then once it dries, I'm going to then bring it down so that it fits like that. I think that will work. So let's go ahead and get some glue on here. Obviously, I'm putting quite a bit. I want to make sure I have a strong hold here, because when I bend this, I don't want it peeling, as it were. I want this connection here to be fairly solid. Okay. Because that's going to be noticeable. And then, let's make sure we get it lined up at least. Now, I wonder if I could have heated this plastic up a bit. Because, see, that's a lot to bend. That's a lot to bend. That's why I was thinking the longer piece might be easier to put in this position. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to let this dry as is. Okay? Let's go back to the top bit. Now, this is one that I can glue on last. But that looks like it's going to go in just fine. So let's go ahead and glue this in, at least on the top. I'll go ahead and commit to that. There we go. See, I have that little blue stuff here on the tread, blue tack on the tread. Oh, come on. See, I would have preferred to have maybe a longer pit on the bottom as well, but okay. So you see that kind of, let's see if I can rotate this. You see, that's what I'm concerned about. I want that to at least be flat. Now I can file that to a little bit, so I'm going to kind of bring this down just a little bit. And I can go in and file that down a bit to give it that rounded effect. Again, we're just trying to make it work, right? You see that's a little bit closer to being flat. I don't know if I should just go ahead and do that and then try to file the whole thing down. Although I think I'm going to let that set. That's close enough. I can push that down and glue it and hold it. And then, yeah, let's be patient. Patience is the key, right? Anyway, we put glue on here. Let's get this placed before we get ourselves too sidetracked. Okay. So that's in. That looks good. Let's see if we got the glue in there. Yeah, see it's popping up a little bit, but that's okay. We'll get it settled here in just a second. Now, since I know this isn't going to be seen, I can go ahead and put a little extra glue there on that particular piece of the top. Yeah, see, that's all we needed. And final bit of glue will go right along here. Okay. Oh, great. Didn't need to touch that. I don't think we messed anything up though. Quick check. Looks good. Get it set. Make sure there's contact. Let's not muck this up too much. There we go. That looks good. I like. Okay. And again, we'll let this dry. So we're not going to get all this done before the end of the video, not both sides. But you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing here, right? So we'll go ahead, get this finished before the next video. And then we'll probably prime this. That's kind of my thought, is get this primed, get it painted, and then go ahead and put the top on it, or the lower hull top. Models, patience is needed. Doing excellent. Thank you, boss. I'm trying, Charles. You do need patience. So that's, as much as I want to get this thing done and do it very quickly. I wanted to get this one side done by the end of the video. We got another 10 minutes, but I don't want to rush it. I want to let that set. Not that I can't get some of these other pieces on, assuming it's going to go where it should go. Duh. Let's state the obvious, dude. Okay, let's go ahead and get this prepped. I could probably go ahead and glue the bottom pieces on. I don't think there's going to be much of a variance. Let's go ahead and get them cleaned up real quick. I can eyeball where that thread's going to get pushed down to, right? Okay. So this is that side. We can go ahead and slide that pretty much right there. Just double checking, see if there's any visual clues, although you probably shouldn't trust. See, that could have just been one piece. Okay. And that gets us to the end here. And then there's the one little piece. Okay. So let me just, if I push that down, that's going to go there. That's going to go there. Okay. I think, let me do it that way. I can fiddle with this part if I have to take it off later. But let's go ahead and get some glue on all of this. Now, even with the side skirts on, when you look at this model from the bottom, you will be able to see the back sides of these runners, these road wheels. And so I don't want to mess it up too much. I'd like to be able to turn my model over and have it look decent. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect. But there we go. Okay, so that is now set. Let's get this one. I'm going to open that up just a fraction. Okay. So as you can see, this one piece is not quite flat on either side. So I can either flatten it here and curl it up like so, or, oh, don't come off. Okay, very quickly, let's get a little glue on this. I don't want these tracks coming up. What I was saying is now I can look at this one piece and figure out what's the best way for me to kind of curve it. And again, I think part of the problem is that that particular wheel was not properly assembled. So yeah, that wants to pop in like so. I see I'm changing my mind as I go, trying to figure out how I want to solve this one link. Okay. Again, I can, if it's uneven on the bottom, that's going to be easier to hide than this little bit right here, in my opinion. I don't know why I'm struggling with this. Anyway. This is not going to win any modeling contest, but I'm not trying, right? Alrighty, guys. So let's make sure that that's flat. As I'm sitting here assembling things and getting this out of whack. Again, let's not rush. Okay, not happy with that. Not happy with it, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm going to take it off, actually. I want that piece to go in nice. So now I'm fiddling with things. This is what we do. We fiddle. Yeah, see, it wants to sit like that. And it doesn't want to bend that way. Yeah, it's that stupid wheel. I got it totally misaligned. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. I'm not going to stress over this too much, although it does bug me. I'm not going to lie. I'd like to get this stuff right if I can. So we will catch you next week. I'm going to go ahead and call a video here. Let this dry. I'll get the rest of this assembled. I'll have the other side assembled before next week, and we'll move on to the next parts of this build. As always, I appreciate you guys taking time to check out what I do here on the channel. Leave a comment. Like the video. If you haven't already, subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot more model builds. I've got some ideas on some dioramas with some miniatures and a few other things. And with that, I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye for now.